You are now watching the Queen Chioma. So hey guys, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we are going to be discussing YouTuber Jayla Koriyan. So I'll be discussing the heat that she received after dropping her online brand development digital course that was titled The YouTube Hustle. So I am sorry that I am late on this story. I just needed like a little solid 2 weeks off of YouTube because this joint began a little toxic and sometimes I just need a break. Now, I'm not sure how many people know this, but Jayla was actually one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel way back in the day when I decided to document my journey of being a college student. Although I do not college vlog anymore and I've stopped college vlogging well before I finished college, I always really admired her work ethic and trying to make money and being an inspiration or a role model to her audience. So Jayla is a 25-year-old black female YouTuber from North Carolina. She attended school at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore where she received her bachelor's degree in 2017. When I used to watch her, she would always be on the hustle to make money and do the best with what she had. She talked about how she was going to a college campus that was small and didn't have much to offer in accordance with her dreams of being like a big city type of girl. So I remember in one of her videos, which was made at the beginning of her senior year of college, she talked about how she felt like she just wanted to drop out of school and do YouTube full time because of how lucrative her YouTube and personal brands had become for her. And a lot of people encouraged her to finish school and get her degree. At the time, I couldn't understand why she wouldn't want to finish college, but being that I just finished college and I'm now devoting myself to my personal YouTube brand, I understand exactly where she was coming from. Sometimes you see the potential of how much money you can make, and it's like, why even put the effort into a degree that you may or may not make money from? But all in all, please finish school and please get that degree if you are in college. Nonetheless, she finished school and moved to New York City and has been pretty consistent and active in making a name for herself through her YouTube channel. So as mentioned before, Jayla recently launched an online course that was supposed to help those who wanted to learn the business and brand tactics behind having a YouTube channel or personal brand. And there were many videos that were dropped that spoke against Jayla, and I wanted to make my own and discuss the different components to what was said. So I've broken this video down into 4 main talking points, so let's get right into this video. So point number 1 is professionalism. So people complained about her professionalism. They said that she showed up late, like on the first day of class, she was 30 minutes late and she was frequently late to every day. I will say this, that's unacceptable to be late as an instructor or the brand person, whoever is in charge of whatever's going on. You shouldn't be late on a consecutive basis. We understand things happen. We're all young women, we're all human. You're not always on time to everything, but to consistently be late, I will say, just off rip, because I can't sugarcoat that is kind of wrong and very unprofessional. But at the very least, I hope she was able to excuse her tardiness, because I mean, that's just easy to correct. Either show up on time or at least apologize for being not on time. People did talk about the way how she was dressed, that she had her breasts out. But let's be real, y'all, they always out, okay? Like if you go to her page on Instagram or YouTube, if you look at what type of fashion style that she likes, her titties are always out. Clearly that's the type of way that she dresses. Not to mention, I kind of feel like for the flyer for the whole entire course, her graphics and her putting out the cover art for the course on her website, on her Instagram and other social media platforms, she was wearing an outfit in which her breasts were showing, her boobies was out. So to me, it's kind of like, okay, I could kind of see that being unprofessional, because at the end of the day, you don't have to have your titties out in every setting. It's a time and place for everything, ladies. But I understand why people could complain about that. But at the same time, can I be that surprised? No, because that's just the type of attire that she usually promotes within herself. Me personally, I wouldn't have cared, but that's just me. People also discussed her mannerisms. So allegedly, people did think that she was drunk or high on the live class. Now, I can't attest to that. That is an allegation, but if it is true, it is unacceptable. But I kind of feel like in this environment and being on an online class, people probably feel a little bit more lax and able to do things out of the comfort of their own home within their bed. So whether that means drinking a glass of wine or listening to some music or whatever it may be, because this is not like a formal setting, this is very informal, maybe that's why she felt comfortable in doing that. But I guess it comes down to your own discretion. Some people feel like they want a professional setting in the way how it's going to be, and some people feel like they just want to have a lax setting. I feel like with the whole professionalism point, it's kind of to each their own. Going into it, I know what type of girl this is in terms of how she portrays herself on the internet. Not saying it's good or bad, but I'm just saying there's a certain way that she portrays her brand. So I'm going to think that that's how she's going to act if I pay for a product or a service that she's putting out there. So if I came in on some high horse, this is a business, this is professional, and that's the way how she portrayed it, then I would be a bit taken back by the way how she was dressed and maybe some of her mannerisms. But this is her brand. Her name is on it. We already know what type of girl she is. I'm really not that surprised if these things are to be true. Now, point number 2 is pricing. So the price that came out was that it was like $100 per person. They had sales going for $50 per person. And then there was over 900 people in the class. So if you do the math, that is almost $100,000 in revenue. Maybe not in the full-blown profit, but in revenue for this class. And some people paid different prices. I know in some of the videos that I watched when I was doing research, people talked about there was some discrepancy against the prices. Some people were mad that they paid a different price. Some people weren't mad. I feel like this. Look, y'all, everything has promo deals. Sometimes it's going to be on sale price. Sometimes it's a clearance price. Sometimes it's regular price. You got to catch it when you catch it. That's not her fault. That's definitely just catching it when you catch it. People did say, oh, she knows she's living with her mom. She moved out of New York. She was living with her mom and she did this for a quick come up. Now, let me say this, y'all. If you are at rock bottom and you living with your parents as a 20-something-year-old girl, you have a college degree, you've lived on your own, are you going to A, sit around and collect the money from your mom, not really do anything to get back on your feet, just kind of mope around the house, maybe be lazy? Or are you going to put pedal to the metal and actually create a brand, get a job, do something to get some revenue and make money so that you're not in that predicament? Let's be real. It may have been a quick come up, but I can't be mad at a girl for literally wanting to better her situation. Like, I don't want to move back home with my parents and I just graduated college in May. So there's no way that I'm 3 years out of undergrad and I want to live with my parents and be at home. I'm going to make some shit shake. And that's just me. I can't knock her for doing a quote unquote quick come up. I mean, at the end of the day, she has a brand, she has followers, you're supposed to use it. I feel like as an influencer or somebody with followers, YouTuber, whatever, it comes to a point where some of your subscribers, your fans, your followers stop liking you. I feel like she was up there. People really, really liked this girl for what she had going on. But when she started acting a little bit different, people stopped liking her. And now they're being nitpicky about everything. Now, I will say there are things that I just don't agree that, that she would do or post or whatever. But I'm not about to sit here and be mad pocket watching somebody off the strength that they made $100,000 off of their fans. Like, what? I cannot be mad at that. I wish I could do that. I definitely can't hate on that. Also, when it comes to pricing and why people were talking about this, it showed that there was a discrepancy in her income versus what she was putting out there. So the flyer for the course did say something around the lines that she made $200,000 this year on YouTube. But if you look at her May 2020 revenue in this screenshot that was posted by someone who did a review on her class, it shows that she only made $800 in the month of May. Now, all I could say to that is that's definitely very fishy. Clearly, she's made over $300,000 within her lifetime, according to this screenshot. So this is probably for her vlog channel because this shows that it's going from like 2016 up till now, which makes sense. I personally feel like there is some dishonesty in that component because if you're making $800 a month on YouTube, I don't really know how you can gross $200,000 and the year's not over. That doesn't make any sense to me. But personally, I'm not the type of girl that pocket watch somebody else. So if that's what she made, that's what she made. To be honest, y'all, YouTube is very hit or miss. It's very up and down. Some months you might make $800. Some months you might make $3,000. It just depends on how much content you're pushing out there. There's a difference between AdSense and then there's other things that go into having a YouTube channel as well. So maybe there's some dishonesty. I think there is, but I also feel like there's other components that go into that. Now, point number 3 are the complaints in the comments that people were discussing about this class. Now, people complained about the fact that there weren't reputable people to be guest speakers. I guess some people were expecting different types of guest speakers, but I don't really know if she ever really promised a specific type of person. But I did find it very funny that her manager could not define the word niche. That is very weird. As a brand manager, how don't you know what that means, let alone the word brand? I feel like it's so easy to just make that answer. If someone was to ask me like, Chioma, what exactly is your niche? Clearly that's commentary, social commentary, advice for young Black women. That's my niche within YouTube. If somebody asks me what is my brand, to be honest, the real answer is your brand is who you are. I think everyone has a brand. Your brand is your first and last name, but your brand can be so many different things. Like, it doesn't just have to be a product or a service. It can be you as an individual. So I did find that kind of weird. I definitely think her guest speaker within that regard, from what I saw, should have been way more prepared. It does fall back on Jayla though. You have to have reputable people that know to be professional and know the answers because it falls back on you. Your reputation is up there. You feel me? So you don't want to mess it up because somebody came on here acting like they didn't know something that should have been easy. People also complained that Jayla did not grade homework and they were looking for feedback. And I feel like that is a point to bring up. When you have a class of this size, there's no way that you can go over almost 1,000 different people's channels, work, whatever it may be. It's kind of hard to do that. It's actually very hard. Even teachers be taking forever to grade 50 tests. So to do almost 1,000, yeah, I would not have promised that or even alluded to promising that, because that is just a completely extreme workload if you had to grade homework or look over certain types of content for people. And then people did complain about how they felt like some of the class material was like refurbished content, and they basically said that she copied from other content creators. Honestly, y'all, listen, none of this shit is exclusive information in the first place. There's no way that you can't get on Google and just Google anything about YouTube, starting a brand, and making it on the internet. Okay, you don't have to pay for that, but it's good to do it because then you have a condensed and direct version of all of your answers, and you're not spending all of your time looking for things that maybe can be simplified in a small package. So I do think it's smart to spend money on your brand, to build a brand, but at the same time, you don't have to. Back in the day when I was starting YouTube, there was none of this, oh, pay $25, $50, $100 to learn how to start a YouTube channel. You just got it out the mud, okay? You just jumped off the porch and did what you had to do. And that's what I'm at. But I would definitely still pay for a class to help me, because learning is very extracurricular. You're always learning. Now, point number 4 is just my overall thoughts and things that I've seen within this situation. According to the average videos that I watched, most people did actually enjoy the course and took something from it. But she can't just tell y'all everything, like I said. Me personally, I just refuse to pay for anything that's on the internet for free unless I'm doing it to support or I do want to learn. There are legit so many other YouTubers and YouTube videos that dedicate videos on how to build your brand. You can look up a lot of stuff and figure it out yourself, especially with things like this where the information is so broad and there's so many different things that play into how to build a brand and how to be a YouTuber. To answer everyone's question, I don't think this is a scam. I don't think she's a scammer. To me, this was a business venture for her that people often do. You know, she made her own content and she curated her own way of teaching people. She didn't steal from anybody. Some people were not satisfied, but to a certain extent, that's not her fault. Yes, it's her fault that she may have been unprofessional and there were technical things. I feel like that is her fault. I feel like there's some things that were dishonest, but no, it's not her fault if she gave you information that didn't promise you a successful channel, because at the end of the day, I can tell you the blueprint of everything I did for my channel to get to over 170,000 subscribers. It may have worked for me. It may not work for you. There's a basis on how things are on YouTube, but it's very, very hit or miss. It's very, very try your luck. It's a million channels on one platform. Some of them make it, some of them don't. Same way there's hundreds of thousands of guys who rap. Some of them make it, some of them don't. Learning only works if you continue on your own. She may have gave you the basis, but then it's now your time to apply those tactics, apply those tips, apply the advice, and also do further research. I feel like with my channel, I'm always learning. There's certain things that I just started doing this year. There's certain ways I just made my thumbnails. I'm learning different ways to edit pictures, different softwares that people use, different ways to edit on your phone. And I mean, this whole situation kind of got me thinking maybe I should start my own how to just get started with YouTube type of thing. I feel like I will, because I kind of feel like I can do like a little $25 class on just how to get started. I don't really want to go in depth with everything, but how to get started with a brand. I think that's a good idea. Now, as for suggestions that I see, I think she should have made the class size smaller and more intimate. 900 people is a lot of people for anything. Maybe break it down into like the beginners of YouTube, like people who haven't started, those who have started and are building, you know, smaller channels, and then actually established accounts with maybe 50,000 subscribers or more or something along those lines. I feel like that's how she should have broke it down, and then maybe she could have just focused on those different groups. That way she would have been more controlled and certain content could have been directed to those individual groups. So it had like a more intimate approach. But you know, this was her first time. Like, I'm not about to sit here and drag the girl because she put out a product. Some people like this and some people didn't, but I'm not going to call her a scammer. I personally do not like the quickness in bashing her, because labeling her as a scammer, let's be real, y'all, it's dead ass wrong. If someone felt they could Google all of this for free, then do that. A scam would have been 900 people logging in and she never showed up and there was never any content. Then she's definitely a scammer, but she definitely delivered content, expertise, and showed up, so it's not a scam. It sounds more like, to me, some people were dissatisfied with what they got out of the class, which is normal, and it happens with every product or service. Not everyone is going to be satisfied with what you put out there. Has she promised something that was not delivered? I definitely think it would have been fair to call her out on that, which I feel like it was fair to call her out on certain things. But to be fair, I don't think in any way, shape, or form this was a scam. I don't see why a lot of black women just think to go straight to negatives. I feel like if this was a white girl, this would have never happened to this this magnitude. Personally, I feel like when people say black women need to stick together, that is great. I feel like people should have given her a little bit more credit for what it is. To create a 1-week class for 900 people, have other people get on there and speak, you know, create the content. It's a lot of work, okay? And maybe it wasn't its best that it could be, but I don't think it was that bad for people to call her a scammer. And to be honest, I'm not like the biggest fan of Jayla like I used to be. I don't really watch her content anymore. I see her videos here and there, but I don't think she's currently doing anything that is intentionally wrong and scamming people as it relates to this product on its own. So that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. What were your thoughts on this? Do apologize that I am late, but I had this story in my notes. I just had to keep coming back to it. I needed a break. What were your thoughts on this entire situation? Don't forget to follow me on all my social media networks, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.